right, we are in music at musictheory.net. We're just going to explore here. We're going to look at some of these lessons. You know, these are good for review and for extending your learning. I'm going to click this first one under the basics. The staff, clefs, and ledger lines. Oh, it's loading. Okay, so we have at the bottom of the screen, it tells us the staff is the foundation upon which notes are drawn. I'm just going to use my down arrow. The modern staff is 5 lines and 4 spaces. Every line or space on the staff represents a white key on the keyboard. Clefs assign individual notes to certain lines or spaces. 2 clefs are normally used. Treble in the bass. Treble clef. Shows you the names of lines and spaces. We ran out of space, so what do? We use ledger lines. Woohoo! Same thing for the bass clef. It shows you the names of the notes. And the grand staff, what piano players use, and C's in the middle. Okay? So we're going to hit this home button, go back, note duration. Okay, the length of time that a note is played is called its note duration, which is determined by the type of note. Whole note is the longest. Half note is half of that. Okay. We get down to the quarter note. It's a quarter of a whole. You can see how the notes break down like a fraction tree. The eighth note has a flag. 2 eighth notes inside a quarter. The 16th note has 2 flags. 2 16th notes fit inside an eighth note. And it goes on and on and on. This right here is a great visual of our notes, our note values. This should all be a review. Okay. Vertical black bars are called bar lines. They divide our staff into measures, just like that. Now the staff has 2 measures. Time signatures define the amount and type of notes that each measure contains. The first one's 4/4 and the second one is 3/4 time. 4/4 contains 4 quarter notes, where 3/4 contains only 3. Non-quarter note time signatures, this is where we're talking about the bottom number. Okay, the bottom number is changed. We haven't done that yet in beginning band yet. So this will apply to, I know, at least one of your Blue Book pass-offs. 6 beats per measure, the 8th note gets 1 beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3/2 time. 3 beats per measure, the half note gets 1 beat. So it shows you kind of how it's broken down. Okay, here's all of our different rests in comparison with their note. So the whole note, whole rest, half note. Excuse me. Quarter rest, quarter note, 8th rest, 8th note, 16th rest, and 16th note. Okay, so it just kind of goes in there. We get it. A note is sound and a rest is silence. Here's the fraction tree using rest. Dots and ties, I would say this is definitely a good one to look at for our 7th graders. This would be a way to reinforce your knowledge. With a dot here, and we have a tie. The dotted quarter note is 1.5 beats. I'm kind of breaking it down for you right here. And here we have a tie, a curved line connecting notes of the same pitch. A tie extends the length, or it extends the note duration. If there weren't a bar line there, we could use a half note. And this is just showing you how like a dotted half note is the same as 3 quarter notes combined. A dotted quarter note is 3 eighth notes. And a dotted eighth note is a combination of 3 16th notes. And then over here, half and a quarter and an eighth, and then an eighth and a 16th. A half step, also known as semitone, is the distance from one key on the keyboard to the next adjacent key. Just like that, they're touching. It says a half step's not always from a white key to a black key. Sometimes it's the 2 white keys side by side. It's just the next touching key as a half step. Whole step is the distance, same distance as 2 half steps. So from keys 1 to 3 is a whole step, and key 1 to 2 is a half step. And then key 2 to 3 is a half step also. An accidental is like a flat, sharp, also a natural that is outside the key signature. These two, right, the flat lowers the pitch and the sharp raises the pitch. And they raise it or lower it by a half step. So this is a C sharp since it's a half step above C, but it could also be a D flat since it's a half step below D. E to F, E sharp and F flat. One thing we haven't gotten into yet are double flats and double sharps. It's you either raise it an additional half step or you lower it an additional half step. That's what it looks like on your music. The natural sign cancels any of these symbols. You can go through all of these lessons. Another good one I want to look at real quick is key signatures while we're here. It's a collection of every accidental found in a scale. To demonstrate this, we'll use the key of C minor, which has 3 flats. Instead of writing a flat next to every E, A, and B, we can simply add a key signature to the beginning of the measures. E flat, and A flat. Here's D flat major. It has 5 flats. Or you could put the flats over and organize them over in a key signature. The flats are arranged in a special order. B is always first, followed by E, A, D, and G flat. Next comes C flat and F flat. You can remember the order by using the following saying: battle ends and down goes Charles' father. I've never heard that before. I always learned it as bead, like the word bead, and then GCF. I always remembered it like a math term, greatest common factor. So I always remembered it bead greatest common factor. I didn't have some like morbid thing about dying. Okay. All right, let's see what else it has. Key signatures also use sharps, and they organize them over to the left also, just like as they did with the flats. Sharps are in the opposite order of flats, where F is first. F, C, G, D, A, E, B. Let's see, what does it say to remember? Poor Charles. Father Charles goes down and ends battle. Okay. I just remembered, I always memorized the flats, bead greatest common factor, BEADGCF, and then the opposite of that, see, it's backwards, BEADGCF, but sharps are forwards, FCGDAEB. I just remembered it. And there's the full treble clef or bass clef version. Okay. Try to wake up here. Sorry if I'm getting boring. There are some exercises in here you can do to test your knowledge on the key signature and note names, all kinds of things you can test yourself on. Some of these are like high school and college things, but these first few are definitely appropriate. We're going to click note identification here. And this is where you can just quiz yourself on note names. So right here, we have that. Now I got to F. Then we've got F flat. Now I've got C. I want to change this. Say if I'm a bass clef person, I'm going to change the bass, change it to bass clef here. I can adjust my range if I want to. Okay, so here we have we've got a sharp, a high, and then a B and an E sharp. And you just keep going. If you miss some, it'll change your percentage points. Right here, I'm 12 out of 12. And I can click these little dots. If I want to, I can reset the score. If you mess up and that's bugging you, that's totally what I would do. If I accidentally hit the wrong one, I'd just start over. You've got some settings on here. You can show your progress report and even share a link or screenshot your score. If you have something cool, you can share it with me to brag that you did the lesson and you've mastered that. Some teachers give assignments on the exercises, like you have to do 50 note identifications and send me your score best 50 out of 50. And then if you mess up, you can choose to reset it and start again, but I just want to see that you attempted 50 and what was your best score. Where it has tools, this is a really neat app for your phone, Tenuto. And if you ever want to print blank sheet music, it will do that, like this. And it'll be a full page of it. And you can compose music on there with your pencil. Another cool thing is it has the pop-up piano. And it plays. You can even mark it, like if you're saying, like, say, here's a B flat scale, you can, I could say mark a B flat scale, and you've got the B flats and E flats marked. And you can clear that. Okay? There are so many little things on here that you can explore. I just wanted to show you this resource, and maybe you could learn something or reinforce your knowledge. Thank you for your time.